Hi, my name is Catherine Lewis, and my research is about math learning disabilities. And in this article, I am doing a follow-up case study of a student with a math learning disability who is an adult who had really significant difficulties understanding fractions, and standard forms of instruction weren't effective. I think oftentimes research on math learning disabilities focuses on identifying students' deficits and then attempt to design instructional interventions that are accessible to all learners. We really need to think about how to reach those students who struggle and have typically been marginalized. And so I think that there's a lot to learn by doing in-depth study and design of the students who learn the least and trying to figure out what issues of access they're having and how we can think about designing alternative tools which would give them access. So in an original study that was published in the Journal for Research in Mathematics Education, I did a case study of a student that I call Lisa. Lisa had difficulties using drawings or representations of fractions. So most students, to draw a picture of 3/4, would draw a shape divided into 4 pieces and then shade 3 of those pieces. And then they would understand that to be a representation of 3/4. So they really use those representations to understand and represent the fractional quantity. For Lisa, although she would draw a representation in a canonical way, she understood the shading to be a taking away or removal of those pieces, and so she would start focusing on the piece that she referred to as left. And so I referred to this as a taking understanding, so she understood those pieces as being taken. And so what I was trying to do in this study is to design an alternative instructional approach which really built upon her own understandings and tried to really connect that to the canonical mathematical understanding. What happened was I implemented these sessions 13 months after the original tutoring sessions where I discovered her taking understanding. And so the first thing that I wanted to do is see if her taking understanding was still around. And so it was still very evident in the first session, and she was answering a lot of fraction interpretation problems incorrectly, and her taking understanding was coming up a lot. So I introduced the scale model, or the scale remediation, and it took a little while before she really started using that bridging tool in a more productive way. And what we see over the course of the 5 videotaped tutoring sessions with her is that she actually got more accurate, even though I was asking her increasingly complex questions, and that by the end her taking understanding had really decreased. So if you're interested in issues of instructional design and really reaching all learners, I think that it's helpful to think about this kind of case as a proof of concept for really understanding a student's issues of access in a particular domain and thinking about how we can design more accessible tools to give the student access to that content.